Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to the show. I am Marital Olalade Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Mariam Longe.
Hi, how's the aftermath of your birthday?
It was nice. It was
you had
fun.
so much fun at your house yesterday. I always like to hang out at your place. Your husband is such a great host.
Yeah, he's quite a talkative host, I think.
He made us pizza.
Yes, he is.
So you made us pizza, really nice. And then you made us this mountain of turkey that I ate most of. Really had fun.
Yes.
Had a lot
Yes, I mean, people came here afterwards. You know, Dami came, my friends gathered from the neighborhood came, my brothers were there. It was just good to have people come and cool. I had fun last night. Thank you very much, ladies,
fun with you. Thank
for
you
coming.
Yeah.
How you doing, Tokwe?
I'm good. So, you know, we have this stereotype around people. I brought in 2 people from the north to come to my farm to handle my yam plantation. And when they came in, everybody in my staff that interfaced with them, bringing them in, were like, this is not, they had an idea of what they were expecting. So there's some people that looked clean, were dressed in a shirt, trouser tucked in, and I saw their response and I'm like, wow, we have a problem. These are not bad people. Do you understand?
Yeah.
They just assume that if you're coming to farm and you're from this area, you would look a certain way. So the accommodation I prepared, those guys said they cannot live in that place, that they don't have a proper window. Like, they insisted. So I had to get them somewhere else. And in my office, they were just like, we have brought 2 Kidiko to work for us in the farm. I said, no, you are dealing with these people based on your preconception of how anybody from this area to farm look like.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to experience this, and I'm happy to expose them to it. We really need to travel around Nigeria. We really need to interact beyond our small communities and meet people, because if not, you really don't know what is going on in
the travel.
Summer is coming. You can use the opportunity to travel around Nigeria.
Start the travel. I have traveled, so start.
Yeah, I'm one of the most
So tomorrow is our feminine energy dinner. Yes, I'm really excited. We're not sold out yet. We still have some spaces left, but where everything is ready, we're set. We have communed with the universe. We are ready to give what we have, and we're going to have fun doing it. So people can still pay for their spaces to be. It's going to be in VI, a choice place in VI where we're having the event, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. and we're good. So we're ready for you. I hope to see more people. Yeah? You have to be there. Yeah, you have to be there.
Yeah.
That's it. So thank you so much again for your pizza.
Yes.
It's a luxurious pizza. Like, I only have one pizza that I eat in Nigeria, but Mariah's Pizza. We have to open a restaurant for Mariah. Yes. She takes the cake. Very rich.
It's not cheap.
Yeah, of course.
Those are the
cheese.
Yeah, there's a lot of cheese. You know, obviously that's what makes it stretchy and nice. So thank God. Thank you. I really enjoyed the company.
Thanks for hosting us.
Thank you for everybody that came yesterday, and I got loads of comments and loads of greetings and callers calling me. As they're thanking them, they're thanking you again. And I'm Father in heaven. But I'm good. No. I didn't cry. Why would I cry? For my mom. Oh no, I had that moment in the morning, very early in the morning, because our call usually comes in first. You know, so that's usually the first call. So I got a few first calls, you know, which is not my mom, but you know, I got a bit emotional early in the day. But thank you, ladies, I had fun. All right, let's go on a quick break. When we return, we'll look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas.
Okay, thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation.
Should explain this.
Tinubu suspends key tax measures to ease hardship, while President is meeting opposition figures by Alake. Banks abandon uniform ATMs, OTC transaction policy. Soyinka chides Emir of Ilorin for abandoning cultural heritage. INEC files 6-count charge against Adamawa Rec. Chidoka urges Mesoma to come clean. Chatima, army to get full support in terrorism battle. And finally, UTME, top performer gets varsity scholarship. Okay, I know we don't have the papers yet,
Let me
but
see. So we have CBT owner Chidoka to Mesoma come clean with source of results. So a former Minister for Aviation, Osita Chidoka, has broken his silence on the ongoing controversy surrounding this UTME results with Mesoma Ejikeme. He is also he's also the owner of the CBT Center where Mesoma allegedly sat for examination, and he's asking her to come clean, and that if she does, he will lend his voice in asking, for leniency for her because of her age. But he's asking her to please come clean. So because he is the owner of the center, he said that there are a few red flags he saw when she put up her the result online. He says first, our center that she's claiming to have written her exams at is no longer addressed as Thomas Chidoka Center for Human Development since 2021. The correct name now on JAM portal is Thomas Chidoka Center for Human Development. So her own sheet still contains, still has the name that it was in 2021. And for him, he said that raised his suspicion. He said the second red flag was that just looking at the template of the results slip is different from what they have right now. So he's saying that those two red flags for him were proper, concrete indications that she's not telling the truth, but it would be best if she comes clean, and then he will definitely join in asking JAM to be lenient on her.
Okay, let me start with the the president suspend key tax measures to ease hardship. You have that story, please go ahead.
So the president signed 2 executive orders.
4 actually. Go ahead.
Regarding finance. 4 executive orders, yes. And there are 2 of them relating to provide ease of business, reducing the hardship, and the president's advisor broke down what that meant. So essentially, the variation in the Finance Act was supposed to increase the TET fund. The executive order now creates a difference. The rate was supposed to take effect from July 1st accounting period, but now because of the Finance Act being amended, the TET tax rate in July 2023 will not give businesses the required 90 days to internalize and adjust to the new tax. The executive order will be commencing from June, and companies...
They moved it, right?
Yeah, they moved it. So companies that are charging VAT will be at the prevailing rates effective from July 1st, and the adjustment of the commencement dates would now be taking place for the Finance Act of 2022 was supposed to be from 2022 to 2023 May, but it's now been moved to September 1st, 2023 to ensure adherence to the 90-day minimum advance.
So part of the taxes also, they suspended the newly introduced green tax also, that was suspended. He also suspended, the president had given an order to suspend the 5% excise tax on telecommunications. The second order also suspended, they shifted the commencement date for the customs excise tariff also from March up until August. So it's just like to give the 90 days period for them to be able to prepare for this new...
Like before, when they make that rule, you have to implement immediately, but so right now he's saying...
Okay,
so Anchor University Ayobo Lagos announced full scholarship to Miss Nkechinyere Kamsiyochukwu Ume. They said she achieved the highest score of 360 out of 400 in this year's UTME conducted by JAM. And they also named her the Young Ambassador for 2022-2023 academic session. So after a briefing in Lagos, the university's Vice Chancellor, Professor Oye Bandele, said the scholarship would enable her to pursue any course of her choice in the institution for free. They also said the university will grant tuition-free scholarships to top 10 students in the same UTME from Deeper Life High School nationwide. And there will be percentage reduction in tuition fees for the next 50 students from Deeper Life High Schools who score 250 and above in the UTME and gained admission into the university for the 2023 to 2024 session. So this reward, according to them, is to make others celebrate what it takes to have excellence, to encourage healthy competition, hard work, commitment among the students, and so on. So congratulations to Nkechi Nyere.
All right, so I'm happy, according to the spokesperson of the president, Aliaki, was saying, the special advisor on communications and strategy and special duties was saying that the reason why the president is meeting up with opposition figures because of his open house policy. Remember, he said that he's got an open door policy and he's willing to speak to different people from different opposition who are willing to engage with him. So that's one of the reasons why he's having these meetings with opposition leaders. Moving on now to the Punch very quickly. Private sector demands more waivers as Tinubu suspends taxes. FG promises to tackle military equipment shortage and poor funding. Police dismiss Lagos cop linked to missing baby after Punch report. Falcons protest cancelled bonuses, threatening to boycott World Cup. Emir's ban on Isese, a crime against cultural heritage, says Yoinka. Money laundering, CBN places Cameroon, Vietnam, Croatia on watch list. And Tinubu, 30 million others join Zuckerberg's thread. Okay, which story?
Okay, go ahead.
Financial watch list. So the Central Bank of Nigeria has advised deposit money banks or financial institutions to start monitoring any transaction that is businesses, persons in and from Cameroon, Croatia, and Vietnam. This order was given by the Director of Financial Policy and Regulation, Mr. Chibuzo Ifobi. And it is in conjunction with the Financial Action Task Force, which is an international body that is supposed to promote transparency and combat money laundering, terrorist and proliferation of financing. And any country that they have flagged, that's the Financial Action Task Force has flagged, all supporting countries will now start processing transactions from those countries and looking into it. The other countries that have also been flagged before remains the Republic of Korea, Iran, Myanmar are on the list of a high-risk jurisdiction which the banks should closely monitor. So essentially, we're just going to be watching any transaction that is involving Cameroon, Croatia, and Vietnam now. Those are new to the list.
Okay, let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
ladies and gentlemen, multiple award-winning actor, producer, ambassador of Edo people, we have Etinosa Idemudia in the building.
Not be first to go police station, they win the case.
Is
So
she?
you are showing
No,
yourself.
I go see as my second
You are
question.
feeling like a contact the prancing peacock. I'm about to cut your wings. Hello. Now, in the amalgamation of 1914, who was the woman who drew the line of the amalgamation? Who cut the report? Who is the person that used scissors? What is his name?
That woman.
That
Drink.
You have done me dirty. I've marked your face. I've marked your face. If anything happened to me today,
I don't
I don't reach my house. Anyway, I'm gonna be chauffeured, so.
You remember now, Abby? Yeah, but you never too thin. Now you remember.
Hey.
If a person who indulges habitually in watching a sexual material is called a voyeur.
That's what they're called.
It's clear so you don't go even get the next one.
Hey, a voyeur.
Voyeur.
Then go on.
What is a person who makes one
A
called?
voyeur. A voyagiste. A bon voyage.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. You're going to...
Yes, President Bola Tinubu on Thursday promised shortfalls in funding and equipment that's been hindering the operational efficiency of our armed forces. He made this promise, they said, at the grand finale of the celebration of the 116th establishment of the Nigerian Army. He was represented by the Vice President. The President says that the Nigerian Army has remained one of the strongest pillars of hope for the Nigerian citizenry. Also commended them that even though they had been part of governance of the country, but since 1999 they have carried themselves professionally and under the leadership of civilians. And he also says that it's on record that the efforts of the Nigerian Army and other services and security agencies are responsible for degrading the dreaded Boko Haram terrorists. And so also acknowledge the ultimate sacrifice made by the military as well, and that they will do everything, the government will do everything to make sure that first they are aware of those poor funding and lack of equipment, and they will be doing things towards that to make them operationally more efficient.
Okay, so Mark Zuckerberg yesterday launched Threads, and everybody went crazy over it. Even our president and the former vice president has also joined the 30 million members who joined yesterday Threads. This was obviously at the back of the fact that Elon Musk had bought Twitter sometime, and people had issues because they had some restrictions on Twitter. And Mark Zuckerberg is assuring the followers on Threads that they're going to improve on it and get better. They're going to have the same, they're going to get it right first. And he was really excited because yesterday he hit 30 million signups about 4 p.m. Nigeria time. And according to this report, other platforms like Google Plus took 16 days to hit 10 million users. ChatGPT took 40 days. Clubhouse took 347 days, almost over a year. Instagram took 355 days. Twitter took 780 days. And Facebook took 852 days just to hit 10 million. But he hit 30 million within a few hours, I think within 7 hours. So according to him, he says that once they hit 1 billion plus people, they will start considering commercially viable, make it commercially viable. And well, it's exciting times because everybody was talking about Threads yesterday. I signed up, was blowing up. I didn't even know it. Yes. I signed up this morning because I was getting so much information. I was a bit bombarded because of the activities going around. Now took it in last night. I was going to read up on it. And this morning I said, okay, let me just join.
It's so easy to join.
Me, I did not join because I am that person that will not join because the whole world is joining.
Yeah.
So when they blow the trumpet on the last day, I will be there. But I'm not joined yet. I'll take my time
to do
figure it out.
Yes, so they said human interest story 6 months after a report by the Punch newspapers that gave a detail of how the mother of 3, Fortune Obafoso, was accused of trying to sell her child by the police. One Inspector Samuel Ukpabio, and had taken his her child from her for child trafficking, so to speak. So the report came out that what happened was this lady gave birth on this particular day, and immediately she gave birth, she was arrested by the police. So they didn't give us detail where the police saw her, where the arrest was made. Arrested and taken to the police station. I was accused of trying to sell her own child. Now the police took the child from her, the newborn baby from her, gave her 15,000 naira and drove her out of the police station with her 2 younger children. But she kept calling and insisting that she wanted her baby back. The police went ahead again to send another 170k to her. So afterwards, this happened in December 2022. Till January, she hadn't seen the child. So she made a report and they followed up on the story, only for them to realize that the police inspector is fraudulent, was trying to sell the baby to somebody else. Now they said the baby is in a government facility somewhere. They don't know where the baby is. The police has said that they've started investigating the case. They have dismissed this police officer in question. They've asked questions like, what did you do with the money? He said he had to give, we're suspecting she wanted to sell her own baby. So they took the child from her and they have to give her 170 to start her life, so that she doesn't go back to the streets. However, Femi Falana has said that it's not enough to just dismiss this police officer. He must be prosecuted for this case. This is really a case of child trafficking.
Daily Sun, very quickly, FG suspends telecoms tax and customs tariff. 5 killed, many injured as rival cult groups clash in Lagos. I'll solve security challenges, says Tinubu. FG to fix new dates for national census. IGP disbands police team for running over handcuffed man in Edo. Asset declaration court grants Kyari 50 million naira bail. Kano anti-graft body's invitation to Ganduje over alleged dollar videos raises dust, says APC. President yet to draw list of ministers, says special advisor. And fuel imports, Nigeria losing $2,000 per barrel, says oil marketers. Okay, which story?
The acting inspector general of police has disbanded a team of police officers that have been attached to the Edo State Police Command. They were responsible for running over a citizen in Ekuma in the state. So the police, he made a statement. He says the disbandment of this police team was to make a bold move to address their unprofessional conduct, and that for their unprofessional conduct by running over that citizen in Ekuma. And the operatives are also, after being disbanded, they are also currently facing disciplinary charges and administrative procedures. This is just the IGP's way of, letting us know that they are going to do everything to gain the trust of Nigerian people and make sure that police officers are held accountable for unprofessional behavior. And we hope this will be a lesson to all the others, and also will help build trust in the Nigerian citizenry towards police officers.
Okay.
Yes, so we have Wednesday night, they said about 5 people were shot dead. Many others were injured during a clash involving 3 rival cult groups in Bariga, Lagos State. So according to the story, they said the cult groups were planning to mark their annual celebration of 7/7 when the fight broke out. So said one of the victims in critical condition at the time, made a report and said there were about 3 groups, cult groups, that are fighting for supremacy. Now, one of them came out to say that residents must stay inside their houses while they plan for their 7/7 celebration, which is today, 7th July in the year. And another one came out and said they should disregard what the first one has said. So another group also came out and said, you better stay inside, don't come out. And they started fighting. And so passerbys who were just returning from work were caught in the middle of the fight. Some of them sustained varying degrees of injuries and, taken to the hospital. And they're asking that the Commissioner of Police wade into the matter. They need them to resolve the issue by, getting policemen to, sort of calm the area down. They said this shooting spread towards Akilo, Songas, in Watolorukemi Street in Shomolu. you know, and affected a lot of people in the area.
I was going to take this.
And the Kano Anti-Graft Agency. So the Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission of Kano has sent a letter to Ganduje over the video, former governor of Kano State, over the video that went viral of him with the dollars and the cap. And they said that they have gotten forensic people to investigate the video, and they are going to be carrying out they'll be carrying out detailed investigation regarding the corruption that they believe took place within Kano under his administration. They allege that 100 billion naira was stolen from Kano State. Public funds were taken from Kano State, and they want to recover some of that money. We also note that the former commissioner, one of the former commissioners in Kano State, has been grilled over 1 billion that was withdrawn a month before the administration handed over. And now there was a court case that was instituted by Kano State government, that by the then Kano State administration under Ganduje, that prevents EFCC from investigating his case, prevents anybody from being called from that video to answer on that case. The new governor has withdrawn the court case. So now EFCC can prosecute former Governor Ganduje on that viral video, as well as the local corruption agency within Kano State is also planning to prosecute him. They've given him 7 days to show up and defend the dollars that he was holding in the video.
All right. So, in response to the much anticipated ministerial list, special advisor to the President, Special Duties, Communications and Strategy, Mr. Dele Alake, said all the stuff you're seeing on social media, there's no iota of truth. It's all fabrication. He said that the President, who is the one in charge of this, would make the list of nominees known when it was fit and proper for him to do so. He said, we're not unaware of all the fabrications going on. He said, let me quote him. He said, I am chuckled. No, now as a media man, I chuckle. I chuckle to myself as he laughs to himself. That people just want to sell so they can fabricate. I can tell you all of those things you've been reading in the media are just mere fabrications. It's just interesting when I hear this man speak, because he uses some words that you just have to think again. Okay, I've not used that word in a very long time. All right, let me move on to Vanguard. Tinubu suspends Finance Act, halts 5% excise tax on telecoms. INEC files 6-count charge against suspended Adamawa Rec. Cultists on rampage in Lagos kill 3. Student loan, don't hike tuition fees. Reps warn tertiary institutions. Sit at home, security operatives in force. Presidency explains Tinubu's meetings with opposition figures. FG confirms 789 diphtheria cases, 80 deaths in 8 states. Okay, story. Are we starting with in Tribune? Let's see if a story I can take.
Vanguard, diphtheria.
In Vanguard, sorry.
Yeah, diphtheria. So the federal government has confirmed that there have been 789 cases of the disease recorded in the country so far. And this disease covers 33 local governments across Kano, Lagos, Katsina, Cross River, Kaduna, Osun, and the FCT. Most of the cases were recorded in Kano, about 71%, and so far there's been 80 deaths recorded among the confirmed cases. The NCDC said despite the available safe and cost-effective vaccine against diphtheria in the country, 82% of the 798 confirmed diphtheria cases were unvaccinated. So obviously, if people are vaccinated, it would reduce, there will be less deaths, and NCDC is saying for the first time over 2 decades that diphtheria should be, the vaccine should be made available and people should go and take advantage of it. And individuals that have signs and symptoms should reach out to the local government and notify them of their states.
That's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, move on to our topic of the day. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the grand comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Gbenga Adeyinka the First. OJ right here, 7 of 7, like you already know.
Gbenga right here, 7 of 7, like I'm beginning to know. It's now time for the question.
You don't scare me one bit. Bata, I go drink. So.
Okay. So now one chance for enter. My first question. Do you remember the names of the winners of that edition of StarQuest?
Of course I do.
Why do you?
And I hate myself for this. Because I have this question for you. Final question. No. Where outside Nigeria and what year? Think you're the only one that can be wicked.
I am thinking because I know back in the day.
Don't think. Answer my question quick. You are thinking too much. I don't like it.
The UK.
Final answer. Okay. I said, God, please, let me to perform outside Nigeria.
Wait.
And God gave me a show in Ghana. Drink, my friend, drink. I don't
overthink this thing. See where I can.
Yes, you overthink them.
I would say you should catwalk.
Let's catwalk now. Where are we?
No, that's not catwalking.
That's good talking.
Ikechukwu Sunday Okonkwo, aka Cross. Now your intro without
Wow.
So there's a name that's.
I'm just drinking because you say I should drink. There's no particular answer.
You think it's only that can be wicked?
What's the answer?
Subterfuge.
Eh?
Yeah. They claim you did, but you said it just happened. That
And it's called what again?
Subterfuge.
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 So you look me finish from head to toe. You look at a person who go know what to become such. Yeah?
The nude wasn't like a game plan. Or...
I promise you, it was actually a mistake. It was sending it to someone, and it just mistakenly just.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one who can make time stand still forever, Mr. Kelechi Amadi. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, my brother.
You love that intro, Abby?
Yeah. It was great.
Okay.
Thank you.
We try like that.
Thank you.
Now my question, which I feel is a cheap question.
Oh, go ahead.
What does ISO stand for?
That is it. I think I'll drink.
No, you're joking.
I'm not joking.
Kelechi Amadi. No. Shay, you didn't whine me. You're whining me now.
I think I'll drink. Huh? No problem.
Okay.
I've always known this as ISO. I never bothered to know what it means. I know what it means, but I never bothered to know what the acronym is. Tell me the brand of camera that I use, so much so that I even became an ambassador. That's very easy. It's out there.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
I just said, look, I give you this one as a token of my appreciation.
Sony.
Drink!
I'm not done. You did not say final answer.
Final answer.
You did not ask me if that was my final answer.
You don't have any choice again. It's only
Nikon.
how many cameras do they have? My
Nikon.
friend to drink. I gave you a very easy something.
Nikon now.
doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, Made Kuti in the view. It's still 7 of 7, and we've been doing a whole lot of protesting. The only thing that remains is just to carry placard.
It's about 5 of 7, to be honest. Because, ask your question. I have so much to speak about once we finish.
We will not give you the time because it's 7 of 7.
I will make the time now. He said he will not ask questions about science.
No.
About neuroplasticity.
And based on
he asked a question that was subjective about high life, and he did not finalize his answer about a Kuti question where there are only 3 of us.
Editor, scratch this part out.
That could have possibly composed the music.
Editor, scratch this part out.
Stupidity is an act of ignorance.
Hey God, Made.
Was composed by which Kuti?
Femi Kuti.
Is that your final answer?
God, I'm Seun Kuti. No, wait, Femi Kuti.
You said
Femi Kuti. Wait.
It can't be allowed.
No, you've not asked me anything.
Everyone.
You've not asked me anything. So my final answer.
No. All I have to say is this show is really.
Thanks for staying with us. So Friday, sometimes we like to discuss a bit of family, and we saw a post on Dr. Shola's page about a lady who said that I used to think I was happily married till last weekend when I found out that my husband of 23 years is raising 2 boys with another woman in Nigeria. Obviously, she lives abroad. Says I'm broken and so sad at the moment. This caught me off guard. I need help and support, but I have nobody. And this, this thing brought to mind the fact that it's not a new story. We kind of all grew up hearing these kind of stories where the average African man, you would have one family somewhere, and you now find out, at a later date of another family he has. And most of our mothers at the time accepted it. Some didn't, But when a modern woman is faced with that reality, a more empowered woman, a more exposed woman, a more educated woman, financially empowered, is faced with that kind of situation, considering the fact that we're not like our mothers, we're not like our aunties, we're not like them, we see life differently, and we can insist on certain things, we can decide to leave, but if you leave, you'll be judged for breaking up your home, not considering the children. These are the various things we have to deal with. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you think, we'll talk about the lady as we discuss it briefly, but then we'll put ourselves in her shoes in modern times. Should a modern woman make that kind of decision to leave or stay?
Doesn't even know what to do.
She's confused.
She's confused. She feels powerless. Can we discuss the trauma of what the first thing she was like, I'm broken. Obviously, my heart is beating fast. I feel weak. So my legs are weak. In my head, I'm wondering, if she had a pre-existing medical condition, this can kill somebody.
What I'm saying, Tokwe, is that this is not new information. We know this thing.
No. So this is new for her. She thought for 23 years that we are happy, we are balling. Like, she thought she had a perfect marriage. I'm happily married until you just find out, shockingly, that there are 2 boys with another woman. And the man was aware. So you will doubt everything for that 23 years. You will wonder, am I okay? Was I blind? What was I seeing? What did I miss the signals? Was I wrong with me? Like, is there something wrong with me that I will be in a marriage and I will not know that my husband is spending money on something else? Like, you will doubt everything that you've experienced. And if you had a medical condition, a woman hearing this news can die just from hearing it.
Okay, so I get that. I want you to understand my point.
As I'm hearing in my heart is
I hear you, Tokwe, and I think that's an important angle to really start from. The emotional trauma to that person. However, the angle I was trying to bring it from was the fact that we've heard this before. Even though we like to make it's their problem, it's so far away from us. But it's not something any woman can say, we don't have somewhere, okay, God forbid it happens. We've heard it happen somewhere else. Is it that we should somewhat prepare our mind to have it, or how do we handle it if it does come? Because whether we like to believe it or not, as an African, there's a possibility, God forbid. I mean, I met my own younger brother when my father died. While my father while we're planning his burial, that's when they brought this young man. And I'm like, who, where, how? And then I saw how he jumped on my brother. It was our long-term driver. He jumped, Uncle Tina. I'm like, what? How do you know him? You know? So these are the realities. But listen, our mothers have accepted it and they're fine with it. But how do we handle it? So I'll come to that trauma part of it, because that's an important angle we hardly talk about.
Yes, so
we forget that
we should start from
the receiver of the information is also shocked. We always forget that part.
Mariah, I know where you are headed, and I agree with you. But many times when we talk about conversations like that, we start from where you are going.
Yeah.
So because we do that, I feel men. Well, we have heard this before it happened, so let's see how we can move on.
Let
us talk about what you have done. Let's talk about the betrayal that you have committed. Let us put this thing right before the men that do it, so that they can look themselves in their eyes and see what it is that they do. You know, everything you mentioned that should be questioning. Do you know the other family members should be questioning as well? People that she thought that my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law that loves me so much.
Didn't know about it.
So these people all were in on this. Every time we go visit and everybody's in, our wife, our children, they have been looking at me knowing that there's a whole other family. That person is feeling betrayed by not just the husband, but everybody that's aware of what has gone on. So it's important, because I feel that because we mentioned this almost in passing, people feel women can handle it. See them now, they're about to talk about how to move on. Let us talk about how we stay here. What do you now expect for a woman to do when you come up with something like this? We have heard the men pull all sorts of things, screaming, shouting and calling blue murder because a woman has had a child out and introduced a child into the marriage that is not theirs. And we agree with you, it's unfair. But do you see how this is almost the same thing? In fact, for me, I believe it's the same thing. How can you be with someone for 23 years? You lied to the person for 23 years. What else are you going to tell the person after that? How comfortable? I even admire the audacity of men, right? That when they do things like that they are comfortable to eat in somebody's house. If I'm the one, if I do something like that, I'll be too afraid. You may just poison me. Or you will sleep in the house, you will eat. You're so sure that your wrongdoing would not have any consequences.
The man was saying, so what are you going to do about it now? Like, just like you said, the audacity. So what are you going to do about it now?
If many may go. That's what has happened. That's what I grew up seeing a lot of men say. If many may go, it has happened now. So what do you want to do? What do you want to do? This is just all shades of wrong. I think there's something they always say that men cannot take half of what they give, right? We've seen women mix children, and then the men find out and they raise the roof. Some will faint, collapse, high blood pressure, a lot of things. They are shouting DNA, DNA, DNA. But our mothers had suffered the same thing for decades on end, and it became almost normal. It became almost something something that you have to put at the back of your mind that it may happen. Every woman in Africa always has it at the back of their mind that anything can happen in this regard. There's somewhere, being God, you've seen something special. This is not how it should be. This is not the life that we expect to live. Now, the most painful part of the matter is, imagine if this woman was splitting bills with her husband, right? All their life, they had planned. You are working, I'm working, they are contributing 50-50, you know. You don't know that part of your 50 is what they're using to take care of another family somewhere. It's wickedness. Those days, the fathers will say, after all, I'm the one bringing the money, you know. I can afford to have you here and have you there. If you wanted to have another wife, why didn't you have a conversation? If you made a mistake in the relationship and you went outside, you started seeing somebody, and you want to bring her home. Why don't you bring her home? So that the conversation is simpler at the time. Okay, I've made a mistake, and I don't want to let it go. I would like to have this person. Why don't you bring her home? Why do you keep this a secret for 23 years? Maybe the thing came out by mistake. It's possible he had no intention of bringing it out
at
till
all.
probably he dies. And then you see one woman and 5 children showing up to say, we also belong here. I think men, I'm happy these days, men are no longer excused for their bad behavior. A lot of women are more independent now to look you in the eye and say, I'm not going to take this. If we have an agreement that we're going to be in a monogamous relationship, if you go out of it, I'm out of here, right? However, we need to always put other people in our shoes. We need to have empathy. Because you will not, as a man, want your daughter to go through what you are putting another woman through. Yeah. You must look at it that way. So forget the fact that you get so ahead of yourself, your body is screaming, you see something in the skirt, you want to, tick that box, I've done this person, I've done that person, and all of that. Consider if you have an in-law that is constantly doing this to your daughter, how you would feel. Right. And use that to just judge the matter.
From somebody, and I will not mention her name, but says, Marital, my husband told me a story of a woman, of his nanny, of a woman who is the daughter of his nanny that had a child. So his nanny's child had a child, and he was helping to take care of. Let me just try to paraphrase. So pretty much based on what I just read while you're talking, I was reading the story. So his nanny's daughter had a child, and he felt connected to his nanny's child, and he was helping that girl raise the child. And when he now got married, he told his wife about this nanny's child that he's been supporting for years, even before he met his wife. Now, they've gotten married, they have their own children. The child is about to enter secondary school, and now the husband is telling her that the child is actually his son.
From the nanny's daughter?
The nanny's daughter.
Ooh.
And then she's now having to face, so she's angry, obviously, now I'm assuming, obviously she's upset because she feels that you should have told me from the beginning. So, is it a deception that we are upset about, or is it that it's something we can handle if we are told on time, or is it something we don't want to? So I'm trying to get to the perspective.
So let me mention something. It's going back to the trauma, because for me, I'm just imagining that woman now. Immediately after that day, everything anybody tells her, she will not believe it. Like that's a level of insanity. Because she's not looking at everybody as a liar.
Suspect, yeah.
You are a suspect. I see you, I don't believe you. The man I was sleeping with for 23 years has a family. I cannot believe anything anybody is saying. It's a level of insanity. So, but for the Nigerian mother, like your own mom's case, your mom was in a polygamous marriage. Yes. So she knew
expected.
That. Yes,
her mind was prepared
that he was doing something. She just did not know that there was another extra that was going to come in. But she knew. If you are in a polygamous marriage, it's a different thing. If you are married to a philanderer, it's a different thing. Yeah. If you marry to a man that they've caught him a few times being drunk, sometimes you find condom, you find some things, you've seen some things. It's a different thing.
Your mind is prepared.
But your mind, you already know that. Just this can happen.
Protect me.
Protect me kind of conversation. Unlike if you now were blindsided, 100%, you had no clue. That is a major shock. I don't even think there is a conversation around how we will move forward. Because the trust is broken. So it is broken so much. The only reason people can discuss moving forward is maybe from your background, you've already seen those kind of things happen, or maybe you had an expectation. But from the message I read from this woman, there was no expectation. There is shock.
I will not preach.
But people have been shocked like that and they move forward. In fact, that was the only option. This conversation we are having, they did not know that they could have this conversation. It was, okay, wipe your tears and move forward. But, you know, you asked the question if it's the betrayal or the deception that is the problem. So it's just the same for men when they meet a young lady who does not tell them upfront that they had a child before meeting them. You know, we've heard of women who would hide their children because they didn't want it to spoil their chances of being with a certain person. And the person finds out, and we hear that that's enough to break a marriage or the relationship. So I guess the same for a woman too. We're about to be in a marriage, or we've just become married, and then you're telling me of an indiscretion that happened many years before you met me. So there's deception there, and we'll deal with that deception. And I'll be asked, my question will be, why did you think you had to deceive me? Is it because somehow that person is still in your life? Because if the person isn't, that means the person you had a child with. If the person isn't in your life anymore, I mean, haven't we been open enough, you know, or trust each other enough to share each other's past experiences and whatever, and to go into a relationship? So that's a red flag for a lot of people. Then it's also hard to... Then the betrayal for me, when it happens within a marriage, we know people have moved on. They continue. How they move on, you know, we can never tell. How the woman becomes eventually, we can never tell. Maybe she becomes a bitter woman, or for some reason she's able to find forgiveness. If also the man has shown that he's sorry, some people are able to move from there to a better life.
Let me take this call from Yakub. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Yeah, right. Good morning.
Morning.
And good morning, everyone. This is serious. This is serious. You see, Mariah, that is why I always think this. I'm sorry to say this as well because I'm a Muslim. You see, I always against this for better, for worse stuff. Because the issue is this. You claim to be, I'm sorry, you claim to be, I don't know the religion the person is. You claim to be a Christian, and then you knew that your religion not permit you to take second wife. And then you went ahead and did this one for good 23 years. And then you don't let your wife know. See, I did just say something. And if you do this, what stops you to come back home? Let your wife know, come, I'll do this. Please forgive me. And then you let that stay for you 23 years. As a Muslim, I'm ready to do that. If I want to marry, I will tell you. If I want to take second wife, I will let you know I want to do this. Instead of me doing it and then keeping it for else. Miriam was saying that maybe the woman will move forward or not that. See, if that woman, if care is not taken, the woman can kill that man. That is the truth. Because you can keep that kind of a thing for 23 years. What kind of man are you?
All right, thank you very much. I'm going to go on a break, but there's a comment here. I mean, comments are coming in. I think people are really have gone through this experience. Yeah. And this is opening some kind of worms that I'm really shocked about. Someone says, I left my husband when he brought home a child. My mother tried to stop me, but she told me that her reason was that my husband respects me enough. That's why he kept the child away from the home.
The lies we tell women.
That's another angle. That's an interesting angle that they'll tell you that, oh, because he respects you. That's why he kept it. At least he respects you. He's not bringing the child to the house. He's far away. That's what this person went through. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
Ikechukwu, Sunday, Okonkwo, aka Cross. Now your intro without
wow.
So there's a name that thing that's.
I'm just drinking because you said I should drink. There's no particular answer.
You think it's only that can be wicked?
What's the answer?
Subterfuge.
Eh?
Yeah. They claim you did, but you said it just happened. That
and it's called what again?
Subterfuge.
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 So you look me finish from head to toe. You look at a person who go know what to become such. Yeah?
The nude wasn't like a game plan. Or...
I promise you, it was actually a mistake. Like it was sending it to someone, and it just mistakenly just.
So, Have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women.
Thanks for staying with us. All right, so as I said, some of the excuses our mothers give us or our aunties give us to stay in this kind of relationship is what I said before the break, saying that the fact that a man keeps something away from you is because he respects you and he loves you. So don't make it look like he's forcing the child up, because back in the day, centuries, they will bring them in the house and you have to accept them. But now they're saying because they're away, respect that, but obviously that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. But let me take this call, hold, and I'll come to UBC. Thanks for calling, you're live. Hello, listen to me, not the TV, please. Thanks for calling.
All right. I think the issue is that real men are bold enough to tell their wives the truth.
They're bold enough to do what?
They are bold enough to tell their wives the truth. Because in a relationship like that, whether you like it or not, there is no way you will hide it for a very long time. So men who are bold, men who are of integrity, will be bold enough to tell their wives the truth. And I want you to know that real men don't treat their wives this way. Real men love their wives with the whole of their being. Real men will insist in taking care of their wives. The issue that the man is keeping it so because he respects her, to me, keeping it is an act of disrespect for the woman. Because there is no way that she will not get to know, no matter how long it takes. But however,
oh, Solomon, I really want it. Okay.
I will encourage such women to stay in that relationship as long as the man is not threatening their life. Because going out of such marriage, the disadvantage is much. How do you intend to go about your life? Do you intend to marry another person? Do you intend to stay alone? So many issues. And but to me, the lesser evil is to continue in that relationship.
Solomon, let me engage you for a moment. I know this is like when we have a man on set, it's always good to have this kind of conversations. When a woman who is sad, as you said, traumatized, obviously she's probably going to be bitter because of she feels betrayed, and we encourage her.
Let somebody who is experiencing counseling talk to her. Yes, that's why I said earlier, if her life is not under threat in that kind of relationship, for me, it's better for her to stay. Because
thank you, Solomon. Thank you very much.
Yeah, people will see things from different angles, right? Sometimes we see that when the person finally leaves, and some people will leave and say, I'm going to just focus on my children. I'm not getting involved in any romantic relationship, no more marriage and all of that. And some women are able to do that. Others will leave and say, okay, I want to fall in love someday, get another person someday and all of that. And we find that sometimes you may not get the ideal single man who doesn't have a wife. You may end up going to a man who is married. You may end up being the other woman for that man. You may end up meeting a divorcee who, you know, the options are just so many. So sometimes it's not because the women don't want to leave. They just look at it like, where will I go to? How will I start? I don't know. The fear of the unknown usually creeps in. I don't know what is going to, I don't know the future. I can't predict what would happen. Other women will say, now I'm independent, I have my own money, I have my own businesses, let me just go and take care of my kids, then I can have the boyfriends. And, you know, the religious aspect is also one of them. People are looking at what would my pastor say, what would my imam say. Okay, imams, okay, you're allowed to marry. So what would my, you know, pastor say? Yes, what would my church members say? What does the Bible say about this? If I go and I'm having romantic relations with other people, that means I am committing fornication at the same time. You know, so the options are so many. You know, it depends on how you are able to put yourself back together. Now that we are focusing on the woman, there are options that you could have come out clean and say, I have made this mistake. I may be in love with this person, or I love this person, and I would like to have this person. The conversation is, as far as I'm concerned, I've never experienced it. This is just my own opinion. As far as I'm concerned, the conversation is a bit neater than it degenerates into how many years of having one child, second child, third child with somebody, a full family with another person without the partner knowing. So if it happens that it has happened, you can present it to the wife and say, I have made this mistake. How do we proceed from here? I think it's
all right, let me take this call, then I'll come to you. So good morning, okay, thanks for calling. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Call. But now, there's a part of going back to this woman, her emotional state. So I can hear her mom or somebody saying, for your peace of mind, stay. You already have two children or three children. Yes, he has betrayed you, he has hurt you, but think about your children. Let them have a home. Let them have the father, mother figure, you know, because I'm sure he's probably a great father. And that's the regular advice we hear.
Another one you should add is maybe if he's a well-to-do person.
Yes.
It's after all you have suffered.
So
you want to go out so that...
Yes, and that person, God bless you. After all you've been through with this person, you have this lovely house, you have a good job, you want to throw it all away for one woman to want to take. That is the usual advice. Now my question is, should that advice hold water today in view of the various factors of the modern Nigerian woman?
There are two ways I see it. Yes, in the Nigerian context, the advice would be,
that's why I qualified
look at all that you have invested, look at the family for your peace of mind. Because what we see as peace of mind in Nigerian context is monetary and financial security and stability. That's what we see as peace of mind, not what peace of mind truly is. Because if we are truly evaluating peace of mind in terms of our sanity, the best advice would be step out for your peace of mind, because you're getting a constant reminder of your betrayal. So, but in that setting of what is you've invested so many years, the time that you have put into the relationship, a few things will make the decision, influence our decision. If the woman is financially empowered as an individual, her decision making will be totally different from if she wasn't financially empowered. A dependent woman will be thinking of how would I sustain my lifestyle, or how would I start again. But a financially independent person would step out and be able to rationalize it. I'm going to talk somewhere about women in real estate, and one of the things I'm saying is many women stay in relationships that traumatize them. Many women stay in relationships that are abusive. Many women lose their lives because if they had the financial well-being to step out, they would survive. So I'm of the opinion that the decision this one will make will likely be based on whether she is financially stable or not. If she is, she would move. If she is not,
she may still not move. Let me take this call from Akinwumi calling from Ibadan. Thanks for calling. Comments on social media. Hello, Akinwumi, you're live. Thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. Go ahead. Yes.
How are you, man?
Very well.
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Thank you for this topic that you guys brought up this morning. But the angle at which you, Marital, brought it up, I think that is what I wanted to uphold. That what would the woman do, and the consequence of the action that the man has done. I'm not in support of what the man did at all. There is a bottom line you people said there, the deceptive that was there.
Mr. Kinwumi. Oh, I think we lost it. Was really. Let me take this comment from. Let me not mention the person's name, just in case. Hi, Mora. The topic you're discussing on your view right now. The story actually happened to a very close person to me. I know both husband and wife. They both live here in the UK, but Uncle is always traveling to Nigeria. She only just found out about the two boys last month when Uncle introduced them at his 55th birthday party. Although their marriage has been rocky for some years now, she's a very devoted woman and very trusting. She knew he had someone but thought the children were fathered by someone else. He actually brought them from Nigeria and brought them to the UK, and one of the boys is the same age as her twins.
Hey!
Look at this image.
Hey, this is trauma. Honestly, because you're not seeing it.
I'm seeing it now because the fact that somebody
shocking. It's not shocking.
I'm for a polygamous family. It's not shocking to me now today.
For us, it's like for me, it's like a big deal. Like my heart started beating as Dolakmo, our producer, was reading the story. Like, how would a woman go through this, especially if she was innocent? We're talking about how she would deal with it. And, you know, the Nigerian context is forgive and move on. When we even discuss it with Nigerians, we don't think about her state of mind. We don't offer counseling. We just say that she should pray and forgive. Forgive is yes. Forgiveness is of the Lord, and you pray, you forgive, you continue living with that person. The audacity of the man to think that I will continue to live in the house with the same woman and be eating her food and think I will survive with peace. But there's a part of age. If the woman is already in later years, maybe you're already in your 50s or 60s, you might be thinking, I don't want to separate and be living a lonely life, or I don't want to be. No, sometimes it's just that there are many factors.
Okay, so let me throw this angle, because I've heard stories of those two women in this situation. One decided to stay, the other left. So it'll tell you that the one who left had to struggle through life. Maybe something happened, she raised her kids by herself, and this happened and that happened, and we see how the children are. And the one that decided to stay, even though she wasn't happy, but her children had a more stable home. And see, you know, those are the kind of stories. I'm not saying I know somebody. I'm just saying that this is the kind of stories our mothers will tell you, and even movies will tell you that you that stay, you had want to at the end of the day to win, because at the end of
When we started the conversation, you said the modern Nigerian woman.
Yes.
The woman who is empowered.
Yes.
That scenario that you painted was very true for a lot of Nigerian men a long time ago, where it wasn't just because he didn't even want to work. It was just the way our society was. The man was the breadwinner. He would bring food home.
Yeah.
And even being single was seen as a bad thing, or being divorced was seen as a bad thing, that you'll be so tainted that another man would not want to marry a divorcee. Even to, in fact, even like a widow, people would not want to marry someone who's been married before and now widowed, you know. But things are different now. As you said, people are more empowered. There's this story my late mother-in-law told me. She used to talk about this, her friend that she admires so much. She said many years into their marriage, after 4 beautiful adult children, the man opens up to her, he sends her a letter, opening up to her that he has a whole other family somewhere. Full. She was like, how many children? Over how many years? I was like, okay, fantastic. I've heard you. She said that the woman, being a judge, was able to drop divorce papers and everything, signed it on his behalf. One day he came out and realized he has been divorced, and she moved on with her life. She did not, they had taken care of their children, their children were adults. She was happy, and anytime, she never even refers to him anymore, since she moved on. So there are people, and I feel a lot of, as you said earlier, if women are empowered, there's so many things that they will not take, and there's so many things men will not give because they know that
they know consequences. God bless you.
When you know that your life, this person's life, is almost dependent on yours, you will mistreat the person.
I have to go to a break.
Okay.
Let me just have a call. I think. Opayemi, thanks for calling. I'll come to you.
Yeah, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, actually, I listened to the program on the issue you are discussing. I think where the man is not good enough, because that's the issue of trust in the relationship. She rejects me, but notwithstanding, I would just urge the woman in question to forgive. Because what I can see now is that in Africa,
yes, I find it difficult to hear. Maybe our volume needs to be increased.
So I like
bringing our guest. All right. Can you hold it for a second? Okay. Let me bring in our guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, multiple award-winning actor, producer, ambassador of Edo people, we have Etinosa Idemudia in the building.
Not be first to go police station, they win the case.
Is
So
she?
you are showing
No,
yourself.
I go say that's my second
You are
question.
feeling like a contact the prancing peacock. I'm about to cut your wings. Hello. Now, in the amalgamation of 1914, who was the woman who drew the line of the amalgamation? Who cut the report? Who is the person that used scissors? What is his name?
That woman.
You have done me dirty. I've marked your face. I've marked your face. If anything happened to me today,
I don't
if I don't reach my house. Anyway, I'm gonna be chauffeured, so.
You remember now, Avi? Yeah, but you never too thin. Now you remember.
Hey.
If a person who indulges habitually in watching a sexual material is called a voyeur.
That's what they're called.
It's clear so you don't go even get the next one.
Hey, a voyeur.
Voyeur.
Then go on.
What is a person who makes one
A
call?
voyeur. A voyagist. A bon voyage.
Ikechukwu Sunday Okonkwo, aka Cross. Now your intro without one.
Wow.
So there's a name that thing that's.
I'm just drinking because you say I should drink. There's no particular answer.
You think it's only that can be wicked?
What's the answer?
Subterfuge.
Eh?
Yeah. They claim you did, but you said it just happened. That
And it's called what again?
Subterfuge.
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 So you look me finish from head to toe. You look at a person who go know what to become hustle. Yeah?
The nude wasn't like a game plan. Or...
I promise you, it was actually a mistake. Like it was sending it to someone, and it just mistakenly just wrote that.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the grand comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Benga Dainka the First. OJ right here, 7 of 7, like you already know.
Benga right here, 7 of 7, like I'm beginning to know.
It's now time for the questions.
You don't scare me one bit. Bata bata, I go drink. So.
Okay. So now one chance for Inter. My first question. Do you remember
the names of the winners of that edition of StarQuest?
Of course I do.
Why do you?
And I hate myself for this because I have this question for you. Final question. No. Where outside Nigeria and what year? Think you're the only one that can be wicked.
I am thinking because I know back in the day.
Don't think. Answer my question quick. You are thinking too much. I don't like it.
The UK.
Final answer. Okay. I said, God, please, let me to perform outside Nigeria.
Wait.
And God gave me a show in Ghana. Drink, my friend, drink. I don't
overthink this thing. See where I can.
Yes, you overthink them.
I would say you should catwalk.
Let's catwalk now. Where are we?
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing our hot topic, but we have a guest who's joining us now, the Nigerian-based award-winning actress, influencer, and social media celebrity, notable for her interesting movie and skit roles. Popular for her new role as stripper in Ijakumo. Welcome with us, Okunsanya Olalade. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Welcome from Uganda, from the movie.
You're welcome
to the
show. I really appreciate you.
Before you came on, we were talking about the fact that the story, a hot topic about a woman who discovered 23 years after that her husband had children outside, and it was not one of those conditions where polygamous setting and serial philanthropy. That was probably a faithful family for 23 years, and then you find out you're being betrayed by the man you love. So we're just discussing, not focusing as we usually do on how to handle it, but on the trauma the woman experiences from even that story at all. And I guess we don't focus more on that. We always focus on her management of what happened. So that was the conversation. I know BC wanted to say something, but I'll come to you in a moment. Let me let BC say something.
Okay, so I like the fact that they highlighted that when women are financially empowered, they have options, a range of options. They can decide to choose whatever they want to do going forward. But I've also seen women who, even though they are financially empowered, will still stay with option A, which is we die here, right? Sure. For reasons best known to them. They will just find a way to heal themselves. Sometimes the husband is not even involved in the healing because he has told you he's moving on with his wife and just carrying both of you together, and you have to heal all by yourself, and they choose to stay. I've even seen women who are the ones running the home in the first place. It's their money. The man does not have as much as they do, and they still choose to stay. But being financially independent will give you a wide range of options. You decide what you want to do. I was also thinking, what if when he came and said he had somebody with 2 children outside, that the wife also confessed that I actually have a brother with 3 girls outside. How would he have felt and how would he have collected it? That's on one hand. So we need to also understand that what is good for the goose is good for the gander. But you highlighted something which I wanted us to quickly point out, that the child of the second woman is the same age with the child of the first. That means that this is not a case of cheating. No, this is a case of this man marrying 2 wives without the 2 wives knowing. He was getting into polygamy, and the woman was getting into a monogamous relationship. So there's no foundation for the marriage, if you ask me. It was all on a bed of lies.
Of this kind of deception is what we're really talking about. But let me come to you, Olalade. What do you think about this situation? What are your thoughts?
I'm so heartbroken, and I'm not even impressed. Well, I think the man will just have to deal with whatever the woman has to go through. It's a phase, it's a trauma. So if it happens to be me, I'm just going to communicate that however I'm going to heal, you're going to deal. That's just the best way, because I could wake up one morning and just get erratic, because I remember, I'm in my mood. Do you understand? It affects the woman deeply, because sometimes you see women casting aggression on their children. It's coming from somewhere. You see them casting aggression on people that play with their children. You see them casting aggression on men generally. It comes from somewhere. So I just feel like however the woman is going to deal with it, if the man is understanding. But funny enough, it's a cultural thing. We don't have it.
Let me take this comment from YK. YK sent some, said, apparently this happened to XYZ person. I won't mention the person's name. His first wife, XYZ, said that he had another family living in Festac. She found out the day her son was going to the university and broke the marriage. According to her, she quarreled with all his friends also. His reaction was that, what's wrong with you? You are living in VI. She's living in Festac. So what's the problem? What's your hassle? You know, separated people.
You are okay. So you should be happy. You know, when you were talking, you just also brought another angle to the conversation.
Family and friends. So let's talk to family and friends. Let's talk to family who have been holding this kind of information. Who know that their brother, their son, or their friend has a family kept away somewhere. What role do they play in this? Should they come and call the wife? So what do they do? Would they be seen that as interfering or betraying their friend's trust? Like, how do they come into this picture?
I think that's how a lot of Nigerians always play these kind of things. To just find a way to move away. I did not see kind of vibe. But if it's the wife, all of them will see. Don't worry. The mother will see. But I'm just saying that they'll just take the eyes off parents, especially when the man is the breadwinner of his family. They're just going to, he's feeding me. Should I go and, I should go and talk to him? He will not give me money again. Do you understand? So on that part, people will just want to mind their business when it concerns the man. Let it be a woman. Let them just hear that you had abortion one time in your past. Everybody's coming to your house.
Did they not go to Abuja for one meeting that day? Someone was not telling Tokwe, that's your friend. I saw him in a hotel in Abuja.
Exactly.
Can you imagine? I went to Abuja, I was in a hotel. Tokwe told me that somebody was saying that Abuja that Maria went to. I saw in one hotel and I'm thinking, how am I supposed to stay for? So any small, they will now inflate it and make it as if, yes, I saw her in a hotel with one man like that. Come on.
But you're a family member to a man who is like that.
Yes.
What will you do?
Yes, that's the question.
What will you do?
Because people say you should mind your business.
Yes. The truth is you have to
mind your business.
That's the reality.
Yes, that's the reality. Because you're dealing with adults. It's an adult person that has made a decision. So what do? You go and tell the wife, my brother has a whole new family and I want you to know about it. So this is your brother that to you as a brother, he's a good brother. And the way things are right now, it does not seem to be affecting anything. So there are two things that you will become. You become the enemy of your brother and the enemy of the wife.
Yes.
Because you are the messenger and so it's just
that's how people mind their business.
Yes.
That this is wrong. You have to tell, because I won't have the conscience to come to her house. She will serve me. I will laugh with her. So I'll play the children and I will go. I'll play with the kids and then I'll go home. I would keep. He may not listen to me, depending. He may also
cut communication with the family.
Good. So let me even tell you what I've seen people do. What I see people do is they say, you know what, as far as I'm concerned, this new woman, I'm going to have nothing to do with her. So that's talking to the brother. People do that. And they just tell you, please leave me, it's my life. So you can keep talking, but the telling of the wife is what we're talking about here.
Oh, it's not my job.
So what you may do for yourself, for your own integrity will be, this is the one you brought home that I recognize as your wife. I am not going to be a part of visiting this person or knowing this person until you tell her, because I don't want when it finally comes out that they will be calling me names alongside you because of your bad behavior.
Really sad. I mean, but I was going to take a few comments on social media on this because people are really sending messages on how they've actually experienced it. Have you heard anybody that has been through this kind of this story where they have one wife in London and one in America and the other one they're just, these are things that, for me, it's so
everywhere.
Exactly.
Nearly everybody know one or two people that listen to. First off, Nigerian men, in their way, have this thing where it's a cultural thing anyway. They are the head of the family. They like to feel like the head. So they have this thing where if you don't want to go home, go to your mother's house. You understand? So it makes them, you see, when there's no curbing, when there's no penalty for wrongdoings, it just continues. And you pass it on. So it has been a trend from way back. Those forefathers who just come home and tell our mothers, meet your second wife, show her a room. You don't have a say. You don't have
we're talking of young girls now.
Yeah, so that's what the modern, it has been passed to the modern men. It's not, that's why it looks like there's a war between feminists and guys that say, you know, because there's a war of, why are you talking back at me? They're not used to it. It's starting from their father saying, your mother does not talk back at me, your wife should not talk back at you, or your girlfriend should not talk back at you. So now they're trying to keep doing it, and we are saying, no. You have money, I have money. Okay, if that's the case, go. And you still pay child support. On
top of it.
On top of, all right, let me take this call. What's with me? Ifowode, thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. You're live.
Good morning to the ladies. Thank you. Good morning. I think contribution is from what we have been so in our society, in our modern day society. We have discovered that what the society is pushing for us is this. Not working for us. The Christianity that we are focused
Joseph, we can't hear you. The line is breaking up, and I'm so sorry. I really wanted to hear what you had to say. We're going to be wrapping up on this very soon, but let's take a few comments on social media before we run, so we can come into the Giacomo
So Beatrice
matter.
Basharun says it's better to come clean immediately such happens instead of waiting for years or decades to find out. It's more heartbreaking knowing years later. Tunaija says women do something similar all the time and in a more devastating way. Women actually have men raise children of other men without letting the men know. Which one is worse? So
the same.
Andrew says, I think it's hypocritical for men to want a secure home and yet you go philandering or wakaing about entering every cave. Jules says, why should the woman always be the one to suffer? It's not fair.
Okay. All right, so I think we can wrap up on that. But
if it happens to you, what will you do?
Me, Mariah Falabi Brown.
You can ask me too. It's not. We're just.
I have a caller first. Good morning. Thanks for calling.
Just a process.
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Actually, to me, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Actually, to me, I think the matter you have to stop before getting married if you have the interest of doing it.
Well, I think I've struggled to hear you, but I know you said something about the cultural thing. I think that was what I could pick up from it. But I mean, you asked a question that if it happened to me. I'm an empowered woman.
Okay.
And I think that
option A.
And I have options. And because I'm empowered, I have options. So if that happens to me, I can see clearly to know, okay, what I can do. I can provide a good family for my children. If I decide to stay, I can provide. I can find a way to dissociate myself from the emotions of that situation and still live a thriving life. And if I choose to leave, I can still have a very good emotional connection. So because I'm empowered and exposed and enlightened, I have options. I have options. I think that's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we'll now discuss with Giacomo, stripper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table. So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have Okunsanya Olalade with us, and she is the stripper in the new movie by Toyin Abraham Ijakumo. It's shown, I think, on Netflix or Prime. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Appreciate you. And
spit it out.
Okay. So we saw some of us saw the movie, and it was quite what's the word I can use? Give me a word.
I'm looking for the word.
It was quite erotic, graphic. And we saw that stripper scene. Everybody saw it, and we just thought, am I still in a Nigerian movie? What's going on? Did I forget the movie I'm watching? Well, it's quite daring, I would say, also, because I mean, I know acting is getting to a new level in Nigeria, especially. You guys are getting more professional, and professionalism will come with you being able to play different roles professionally, regardless of what it is. So we understand that. But as a Nigerian woman like you are
you a Christian?
How did you feel?
As a born again.
How did you feel showing up beauty out there?
Man.
So I need to say this. I did not feel some type of way.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it to people that it will look like I'm just trying to be a hard girl. I was not me. I was the character. And I'm not saying this because Nigerians will say, you're just...
Girl, honey, I saw you. I didn't see no damn character.
Because I was in that mood, that phase.
Right.
I was not thinking of me. Right. So before this, I had already, most important people in my life would be my family members. I mean, would break me. So while I was sending videos of, stripper videos to Toyin Abraham, I was sending them to my mom, my sister, my brother, important people in my life. I said, these are the kind of things you would see on Netflix. I hope it's fine. My mom said,
you make call first. You make call first.
You understand? So, but they had prepared their minds. Yeah. They had prepared their own extended family's mind. The people that mattered the most to me were prepared.
Wow.
So because social media can do their thing.
Yeah.
You don't even have shame, and you are just starting. Look at where you're starting. Do you understand? But the people that their opinion mattered to me the most,
right?
If they were holding my hand, I just felt okay.
Fantastic.
So yeah.
Really sweet. So it shows me like you're a family person. You're very connected to it.
Family is everything.
So how was it on that set, having to do the roles maybe over and over, getting character, get out of character? How was that experience?
Okay, so because I played a born again and I played a stripper.
The twins.
They are two different characters. So going in and out of those characters is not so easy. I think I get into the characters when I wear the costume. Wow. So most times when I wear the stripper costume, if you see my temperament on set, I'm extra touchy with everybody on set. I'm playful. Look at my eyes, daddy. Do you understand? So I'm more playful. I am in the character, and I do it to get into the character. Right. But it's so extreme that you are leaving that costume, and the next thing is you are wearing a Jesus costume. Yeah. So it takes it to your mind. Even on set, I become calmer.
Right.
I have to start praying in my mind. I have to sink into it, because sometimes they're not preparing you to get into character. They're just saying, get into character, change your costume now. Do you understand? And you have to work on that. So you're like, I have 5 minutes to get into character, and you just have to start praying and start imagining those days when you're still.
Yes,
amazing. I mean, it's I always hear that people are able to do like split characters or personalities in a movie are exceptional actors. So well done for that.
Thank you very much.
But I would just like to ask just a bit on your personal life, because I've heard that some people take their character out of the movie and take it home. Which one did you take home?
The stripper, definitely.
Oh my goodness!
I want to go to a strip club to get into to learn the moves, or did you just come up with it somehow?
Okay, so special shout out to Auntie Abraham and Auntie Bimbo Akintola. Auntie Toyin took me to the strip club. I mean, I've been to the strip club, of course, but I always like to run away from strip club.
Of course, we have never. I've never.
Okay, I've never been as the bad girl that you are.
Yeah,
wow, be coming down. Wow.
The men gonna take one many years ago.
Right, so I've been to the strip club like twice or 3 times. It's not my fun spot. So doing that, I think Auntie Toyin had to sink me into the character. I had to talk to strippers.
Yeah.
Nigerian strippers. I wanted to understand what is in their mind.
Yeah.
So I said, so what's up? Not to make them feel low and anything, because we're dressing together. You could see them in the movie dancing. So when we're making up, I was trying to create a conversation, you know, so they don't feel like I'm an actress and they're just paid to just. I'm playing with them and like, teach me that movie. Just did you understand? I'm just playing with them. So I ask, what is it that makes you not what you are? That makes
so sensual.
You so sensual.
Yeah.
Nigerian stripper said it's the money.
Really? Man.
I agree with them. And the truth is, I think they cut that scene when I was on stage. I had to connect with money. I had to say, you need to pay your bills. Oh yes, I'm going to make you give me the money you worked so hard to get. I had to connect with money. I had to say, I need to pay my rent.
Spirit of money.
You understand?
Hey, it's a demon.
No, it's not a demon.
It's a spirit of mammon. Spirit of mammon. Yes, now. That spirit must. I get you. I
connected. So that was it. So when they said it looked funny, and I said, it's the truth. It's the reality of life. You would not want to just open your body to random people if you don't have a need. If you don't need to be somewhere. There's a reason you're covering your eyes sometimes. You're a bit held back that I'm not this person, but I need to eat. So that's what I just worked with. And
But so,
wow. You're real. I like you.
Thank you.
Remy. You know, he's like one of our hot guys out there. I'm thinking, God got to sit on Kunle Remy's eyes. How in the world did you do that? How did you handle that experience?
It was so...
Was the weaponing?
Was it weaponing?
Was the weaponing with weapon?
Hallelujah!
It was weaponing.
It was weaponing. Well, because I had to like feel, touch, and the rest. So it was weaponing.
Oh, Kunle Remy must take you out on a date.
I mean,
don't rush the relationship.
Sorry,
they just acted.
Okay, so
yeah, go ahead.
It was easy with Kunle. In fact, I'm really grateful that it had to be Kunle.
Yeah.
He didn't give me celebrity vibe because I'm a newbie.
Yeah. And also his looks must have helped.
Yes.
His looks helped so much.
I'm telling you, God. I didn't think that somebody was ugly. Oh my God. Toyin Abraham put me in this position. I'm telling you.
And apart from that, Kunle is highly courteous.
Okay.
Like he didn't even touch me until...
He didn't touch you?
Like he didn't, no, not like touch. He didn't touch me until he had a bit of consent.
Yeah.
He had to... So on set, when I met him, it was just all... I was being a bit laid back. He had to touch me enough for me to touch him too, because our scenes were sensual. I had to touch him. So he had to give me that confidence.
Please don't give us all the full story. So that my husband will not say I'm not acting again. I just started. We start when we hear something. I say, no. You see why I said you cannot.
You'll be acting Reverend Mother.
No. I don't want Reverend Mother.
But wait, so tell us about the scripting. The movie itself. When you got the script, did you feel that I'm new, I don't want to enter Nollywood with this kind of scene, or did you just trust the entire process?
Apart from social media, real me is very daring. Yeah, so I'm just... And Toyin Abraham tried so many times to say, oh, will you wear a short?
Oh.
I said, ma, strippers will not wear shorts. You know, on the bed, she'll come and whisper to my ear, no, it's not because you're a newbie that I'm now using this opportunity to sell my movie. Will you wear a short? And I said, yeah, she was trying to make sure I'm okay, do you understand, with it. Like, so it's not like because she's a superstar and she's trying to bring me and I have no choice than to listen. So she just come whisper to my ear like, is it okay? You can wear nika. You know, that scene where I was on bed with Kunle and I had to, like, when I was leaving, I tapped my ass and all. I was like,
let's have to ask.
No, she did herself.
Yeah, you did too. I mean,
oh man.
But I'm just saying that she wanted me to wear like a short. I said no, I was going to wear like a thong instead because it's just very it's unrealistic that I just finished, you know, and then
and you had
and then I'm wearing shorts.
Not that I would have minded, but I understand. But I just want to talk about the auditioning. Were there like a lot of people auditioning for it, and then yours was the hottest, or was it that she looked at you and saw your social media thing and said, you know what, this girl fits the bill?
Okay. So how I met Auntie Toyin anyway was I made a review about Prophetess, a movie she was. And so because my content on social media is very energetic, so I just made a review and I was just screaming, oh my God, have you seen this movie? Auntie Toyin Abraham killed it. I didn't tag her. I don't tag celebrities when I make review. I'm just talking to my followers. I think the movie producer saw my review, and you know that thing where there's the hashtag, and he took it to their group and she said, I love this person's energy. Came to follow me, said, I'll put you in my movie.
That was it.
Oh,
look at
wow! That's she was like, I'll put you in my movie and I'll make you a star. I'll help you. I'll push you for just doing me. I didn't tag her. I didn't because I'm not looking for.
I sent her my review. She tagged me with. I think I said something that, and I think I loved her role, something like that, but she doesn't know she wasn't something that she did anybody. But I mean, I'm really happy that she, you know, supported you.
Let's talk about before we ask you more things on what you're doing.
Okay.
Next, the booty aspect of it. You really flaunted the whole thing, you know, and we saw some, you know, there's a way you can tell whether it's natural or it's not natural. So we saw some things that showed this is natural.
It's natural.
But I know that women in your industry right now, a lot of them want to look a certain way, want to be more sculpted. Are you going to consider it since you are taking stripper roles already?
So I have already. So the only thing I keep saying is maybe when I give birth, I may have to take tummy fat if it's not going. I mean, naturally, it's not always like, I don't have big tummy naturally, but I'm just saying that if I give birth, I hear a lot of mothers saying it won't go down. It may, so I may have to just do like a lipo.
Mommy makeover is what we call it.
Mommy makeover, yes. So I may have to do that, but the BBL, I think I have.
You have. Do you worry that people would just see you and just see the stripper girl? Because no Nigeria, we like to stereotype actors.
Yes.
So before you know it, now they start looking for sexual scenes to give to you. That auntie, that Uganda lady.
Let us
Yes. Do you feel that people will see you, stereotype you in that kind of
So movie producers have been coming with script pertaining. Rejected.
Exactly.
Because I want
something else.
Yeah, I want you to see me as an actress, not just for the body, not just for that part.
Yeah.
So I'm rejecting. First, I'm rejecting because there are options now. I'm not stuck to if I don't take it now, will I eat? There are options. Right. So I'm rejecting. Or when you give me a script, because producers can sometimes not tell you that you will do this thing.
So you get on set.
So I'm asking directly. I hope my manager is asking. I hope there's no sensual scene, so they're like, okay, just the usual kiss and touch. I hope it's not as erotic as
what you have.
So we agree. So when I get there and you're trying to, we can leave.
Yes.
So
you want more challenges. You want something maybe this time carrying gun and do some karate moves.
I love that a young girl is able to do that for herself. That you're able to take roles not out of desperation, but because you have the options. So you must have taken. I know that this Ijakumo has given you some sort of boost. But apart from just that role, what do you think in your personal life has built this confident young lady?
Surviving, that's it.
Really?
Yeah.
How did you survive? Tell us.
Life, Nigeria, we're surviving. We have to make ends meet for ourselves.
What's your background like?
Background is beautiful. Very supportive family, sweet and all, but I like the top life. I like to look like the girls I see
in the magazine,
on TV. So I'm like, the more I grow, the more I see that they didn't get there by just hi, hello. They worked. They made some decisions that are not very comfortable. Do you understand? So while growing, I'm like, I'm faced with some challenges, and I'm like, will you take it or you just go back to your normal married life? And I'm like, I'll take it. Go naked on social media for my. Thank God it's my movie. Some people just go for views and likes. I'm going there for movies. So now I have something to say that, do you want a stripper to wear trousers? Do you understand? So if you try to bash me, I'm like, do you want a stripper to wear sweater? So I have something to at least hold me for that. But surviving just It's just a natural.
Because you exude this confidence.
I'm like growing up,
and it's like you're taking on the world. You have the capacity to take it on. That's what you're showing, and I'm really like that.
You have the right tools already. For many young people, they're still struggling to find this. So I was wondering, is there something in your growing up, or in a family member, or somebody that's encouraged you?
I think that just has to be my mom. She's just very, and my siblings are very. It's just I come from a very loving family, very opposite.
Fantastic, we can tell.
I mean, because
we have to wrap up very soon. But I mean, and shout out to Tony Abraham who brought you in. I mean, I like the fact that she saw you and she brought you in. She took a chance on you, which is great. But what are the numbers looking at? How is Giacomo doing?
We've been #1 for 2 weeks straight.
Wow.
2 weeks straight. Thank you.
Friends are loving it.
Yes, they are loving it.
All those things you were seeing in the movie. I say, let me talk as a Nigerian woman.
Okay.
Who is a very, very Nigerian, that goes to Redeemed Church. Okay, Father in heaven, these are the things they are saying in Nigerian strip clubs.
I have to watch it alone because I didn't want wala. These days, once I'm watching a movie,
Father in heaven,
my husband will say, "Can you do that role?" But that be calming down. It's not like they've even given me the script. Why are you giving me how to be calming down?
I mean, my parents took me to a strip club when I was 21, back in the US then, and they made me do all the, But that was the only experience I had. I had it in my head, but I've never.
You did the pole?
I didn't do the pole.
Okay.
There was a guy. There was a guy stripping, and we had to give the person money, and then there was a real strip club and everything. But the film was here and there. So it was an experience to get you to drink alcohol and just go crazy on that night. That was it. But I'm not going to a Nigerian strip club because obviously.
Can we plan and go one day? I would like.
Let me tell you, there's something I think I'm sort of racist. There are some things I want to see Oyinbo people do. I don't see.
I mean, I think that's the reason I don't really like going to the strip club most times. But I think after playing the stripper,
you'll be going more often.
Next time I go, I will go often. I will spray them so well. It's not
easy to wrap up. Let me give you the final word. Talk about Giacomo. Let me give you the final word. Go ahead. Say something about Giacomo.
So, first off, we're still training, and I think in Giacomo just encompasses on a lot of things. So it's relatable to a lot of people except underage. Thank you very much. Don't watch it.
Okay, we got to roll. That's all we can take on this week of Your View. Hope you enjoyed it as we have. Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Oh, we're going to Adas's Mall's party on Sunday. Mrs. Adebi, she's turning 50. Praise the Lord for that. So excited about that.
In advance.
See you.